Okay. What? What? Trap beat? What's up guys, it's SquishyJoshy, creative Vagabond, taking you on adventures in gaming, art, music and experiences. Today we're going to be reacting to a new song by HANABIE. HANABIE. See, I practiced. I watched the video that you guys sent. But yeah, we're going to react to their new song, Iconic. That's a big, bold title right there. Iconic. Just iconic, as usual. I don't know what to expect with this band. They're always doing something interesting. The last song we reacted to was called Spicy Queen, and that was when Boku was joining us as well. I would love to have Boku here for this one, but she's very busy, unfortunately. Guys, I encourage you, if you haven't seen those reactions with her, they're always fun. It's always fun to have a special guest on these sort of videos, and we're actually planning one real soon with one of our other good friends and Discord mods, Trix. We're going to be looking at doing a bit of a bigger reaction video to a whole concert by a band called The Warning. That's a separate thing, but now we're just going to spend some time reacting to this track called Iconic. I'm actually really excited for this one. I'm ready to headbang. I don't know how intense it's going to be, but I'm ready. I'm ready. And who knows, by the end of it I might actually agree with the whole title of the song, that it's iconic. I mean, most likely, right? Surely. Let's get into it. Oh. Okay. What? What? Trap beat? Oh, we're building up. Oh, that's kind of like a intro. Okay. Oh my goodness. What are we dealing with here, guys? I mean, that is definitely one way to match the title. We've reacted to the first 1 minute and 13 seconds of the song. I'm totally understanding why the song is called Iconic. It seems a bit on the nose as well. And even the dance move that they did there, where they were just kind of like holding the one note and just kind of like, I can't remember exactly what they were doing, but they were just, you know those old bird things in the 90s that used to like go down and dip into the cup? I just thought of that for some reason. This is very interesting. If we're going to talk about the structure for a sec, it sort of started off with this intro bit where they're all in this kind of like really hospital looking office space. There's so many cool whites in there. It looks very futuristic. It looks very much like you're in a hospital but also at work. I don't know if there's some kind of juxtaposition there or something that they're trying to say, because if you get into that a little bit deeper, even when we as people get sick or injured or something like that, there's still this expectation to go to work. But then the lyrics are kind of funny as well, because it's like, I am me, iconic, you know. That's what I'm seeing there down the bottom, because I'm using a vertical monitor, so the subtitles are actually off the crop here, so you can't actually see what the lyrics are, but I can. But it's kind of funny. I don't know if they're actually singing about this. I don't know if anything about this song has to do with work or being overworked, but visually my mind is going there. I'm drawing that from this, and it's also kind of saying, like, because of the lyric, like, I am me, iconic, there's things that we would much rather be doing, you know, outside of work. You know, we don't want to be at work all the time doing the same thing over and over in a loop. I wonder if the members here were pointing towards that in that intro part, where it kind of seemed very routine-like, very mundane, the same kind of tasks over and over again. Are you guys happy yet? Is this what you guys want? Kind of thing. And then you can see there's like that surveillance camera. And I think we also kind of noticed that same sort of vibe in Spicy Queen. Like, it almost looked like people were watching them for what they were doing, eating the food, the mukbang kind of video with all the spice and the chicken. I wonder if this is just further riffing off that idea, and it would make sense if this is like all part of the same album, all kind of like a concept that they're building up. Very interesting stuff. I was about to talk about the structure as well. Like, it started off with that intro bit, and then it kind of went into like, okay, we've actually got live instruments, because I thought, okay, what, they've got this trap beat going on, they've got these electronic parts going on. We haven't necessarily heard much of that with their music. Obviously they've used electronic elements in the songs that we've heard previously, even with their collabs and stuff, but not to this level where we're almost getting a trap song at first, and then they trick us, and then it just goes all heavy and metal. Definitely feeling some Bring Me the Horizon vibes there. The vocalist has a really great screaming tone. I like where her register is when she's screaming. It's not like a nail piercing, like, you know, really up in the high ends. It's just at this nice level that I really appreciate, especially because metal isn't like my main genre. You guys know that I'm into more of the alternative rock and progressive rock where there's, you know, all these different time signatures and whatever. But don't get me wrong, I do love a bit of heavy music every now and then. A couple of other things I do want to mention before we get back into the reaction, and I know we've been rambling on for quite a bit, but I just want to talk about the visuals in the last minute or so. When we're seeing the band here in this sort of work environment, they're all kind of dressed the same. They've all got this sort of pink wig on, and it looks like they've got like some kind of uniform that they've all got to adhere to. And then when we see them in the band context, it's like each of them have their own kind of uniqueness to them and their own style, which I believe is more akin to their whole Harajuku-Core kind of thing, because that's all about like, you know, these crazy fashions and things. So it's a bit interesting to see them conform to one style when they're in this sort of office space, and then when they're in the band setting, they've all got their own unique style, which I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if they got too into that in Spicy Queen, because I think in Spicy Queen they had a bunch of different outfit changes, and there wasn't really any sort of section in the song where I think they were all kind of wearing something similar. I think they all tried to have some sort of touch of red in there, but they weren't all the same. But yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to point out was these scenes here of them where they're in the work environment do also kind of remind me of a video that we checked out recently, well, maybe a couple months back now, by a K-pop/J-pop group called Eunice. And they did the song that I reacted to, and the video was very similar in context. I can show you a couple screenshots in front of me now, just so you guys can see the similarities and what I'm seeing. I wonder if this sort of concept is thought about a lot amongst these bands and artists. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I've been rambling for quite a bit. Let's get back into the reaction. What a place to dial it back to. Oh, that's hilarious. Also, does it look like they have food at their desk? Or at least this one in the background does. It's like pops of color that seem out of place compared to the rest of what's going on. I wasn't expecting that. Is that a bridge or is that like a second hook or something? But anyways, pausing it on this camera kind of confirms my theory of the whole surveillance, you know? And they're getting sick of it. They're getting sick and tired of the way that people may be judging them or something like that. I really like how this song has so many moving parts to it. There seems to be so many different sections. And even though it's so cut up like that, even though there's like an A, B, C, D, E, F, G section, you know, it still seems to be a pretty cohesive song. Like we can still follow along the structure of it. And then just now, before I paused it, they went into this kind of like second hook or maybe an actual chorus. Even though the song is almost at its end, it's kind of interesting to hear this more open chorus towards the end of a song, whereas the first part of the song was like a mixture of trap beats and like electronica and techno, and then all of a sudden we've got a metal riff going on where the guitar and the bass are kind of like doing this. They're always like sliding up and down in this sort of like upper part of the guitar. There's a lot of like a 1 2 3 slide, 1 2 3 slide. I'm not saying that they're doing frets 1 2 3 and then sliding. I'm more talking about like the spacing between the notes. So it's like, and then they finally get to this part right before I paused it, where it felt like more of a chorus. It was a lot more open and more singy rather than screamy, which I really like. I like when they get into those really big, wide open choruses. A lot of the time, they always feel like a bit of an emotional payoff in the song. Like I'm going to dip into my hat of like random artists that come to mind right now. And the song Thermata by Carnival has that sort of feeling as well. We've got like this sort of really progressive metal introduction, and then eventually it gets to like the chorus where it explodes into this really exciting moment in the song where you just feel really uplifted and you're really just captured by the soul of the song by that point. Unlike today with the rise of so much AI and soulless music, you know, that's a whole different topic in itself. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to like AI generated music, and the fact that AI generated music is getting attention in the first place, it's mind-boggling. It's like people are subscribing to a vibe rather than real people and real art. And that's not to say that I haven't used AI for anything. I feel like it's a given that in most places everyone's used AI at least once. Even things like your Snapchat filters, even if you're creating videos for social media as well and you do like the auto captions, like it's all using some kind of AI to understand what your voice is saying and to be able to capture it and to know exactly what you're saying and in what language and what accent you have. And I personally feel like in today's day and age, you may just be a little bit naive if you think that you're going to avoid it entirely. We're going on a bit of a tangent here. We're going into a bit of a dark rabbit hole with AI and stuff, but it also kind of relates to the whole surveillance thing, I suppose. And, you know, it's all modern society, all modern tech. I just want to briefly touch on it just to kind of explain what I feel. There are things that we just inevitably can't escape. I work in a big franchise company here in Australia. That's just, you know, the work that I do aside from social media stuff. And we recently had a Christmas party, and the venue that hosted us for the Christmas party created a little poster using generative AI art. And that's a whole different can of worms right there. But the fact of the matter is, it's this poster that was welcoming us to the venue, and it was Gen AI art. The attendees of the event couldn't have known until they rocked up. And then at that point, it's like, are you going to be offended to the point where it's like,
well, they use Gen AI art. I'm not eating here.
I'm not drinking here. The company's giving you free drinks and food. Are we thinking here? Are we using our brains? It's going to get to a point where these companies and businesses have to warn us in advance that, oh, maybe this company, maybe this venue has generated something AI. If you guys are going to get triggered by it, we're sorry in advance. We might not see you at the work function, but we totally understand. Are we really going to let that happen? So I don't know. That was my 2 cents. I don't want to go too much more into that, but if you guys want to chat about that at all in the comments, please just sound off. We'll see what kind of productive discussion we can have on it. It's one of those things where you just got to have productive discussion on it. Whether you like it or not as well, some of the artists that you probably know and love are using it in their music videos, especially when it's fantasy or futuristic stuff that doesn't really exist yet in the modern world, and they want to generate that or maybe fill in a background. You don't know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying I'm for generated art, but I think if you're going around 2026 and beyond and just assuming that you can avoid it entirely, I genuinely don't know what to say. But if anything, that just creates something new in the market, you know? It just means more people will be out there seeking the real stuff. And that's what you want. So take what you will from that. That's all I wanted to say. Bit of a tangent, but let's get back into this reaction now, guys, and see where we go from here. Oh, they blew it up! Breakdown. Love yourself. Oh, the filter. Oh, the double time. Oh, that's so cool, the slow-mo. Don't be boring, girl. Don't be a boring girl. So first and foremost, when I do these reactions, I'm always kind of listening to the music first. Then I'll kind of like riff off the visuals. Then I'll kind of see if I notice anything in the lyrics. This kind of sticks out to me a little bit. And I may have talked about this before in other videos, but I've noticed this whole kind of like, I don't know the best way to say this, but sort of like this generalized conformity that people kind of do to the basic and mundane. I've got a bunch of really like talented and smart friends that could be doing a lot of cool things with their life. Some really fun things. else, really. Whether that's playing an instrument, playing music, or reliving their childhood gaming phase. Like maybe they were really good at games and then all of a sudden they've just kind of stepped away from that. Or maybe they're just like, oh, well, all my other friends are kind of just, they're settling down, they're doing their 9 to 5. Maybe I should do that too. And that's something I can't really sit with. Like, I can understand that some people have to do that, but I don't know. I feel like there's a good sort of message here and something that I really stand by a lot, and that is just don't bring yourself down to this level where it's like, oh, I have to be normal now. What does that even mean? I feel like we've gotten really deep just from this song. Something I totally wasn't expecting to do with a song of this kind of energy. What an outro as well, where it goes double time. So many like connections to like dance music and dubstep, but then also having their unique metal edge. And I like that. This song is great. Now, obviously I'm not a girl, like the lyric states there, don't be a boring girl, but I can extrapolate further meaning from it. Like I said, I know people that are boring themselves down. I too, as just a general human, don't want to be boring. I love fun and entertainment. If I can put a smile on your faces, that's a win in my books. But wow, this is definitely one of those songs where you just got to listen to it multiple times. There's all kinds of meaning there. I love how in the end they broke the camera. I thought that was pretty clever. It's like they're getting out of the whole surveillance thing. And guys, what do you think of my new headphones? I just recently got them. They're actually a lot more snug on my head now, so when I headbang, I don't have to worry about them falling off. So I'm excited now that we've got some new headphones and the audio isn't dropping out of one of the ears. We're back to proper reaction videos where I can hear everything. I'm so happy. I hope you guys are too. Yeah, look, I just thought that was a good song. If you enjoyed my reaction, and I hope you did, please do give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're on the road to hitting about 5,000 subscribers in the first quarter of this year, and I'm sure we can do it, guys. With your help, 98% of you guys are still not subscribed. Would really appreciate it if you did. If you would help support the channel and help us grow and do things like, giveaways and stuff, that'll be really fun. And we're all about fun here. And if you want to join in the fun, we do have a Discord server as well. We can talk about music there. We can talk about AI if you want to. I'm sure we all have opinions on it. And if you have any other suggestions for me, whether it's a song to react to or maybe a game to play on my live streams, you can do it there as well. There's a suggestions channel. There's all kinds of things. And yeah, I want this place to be like, you're kind of like, I don't know if I can say it's the one-stop shop for all things creative. I'm sure there's other channels that do the same or similar, but I do want to be one of those places which can not only inform you of anything that's happening in the creative space, but also bringing my own unique and entertaining spins to things. And so yeah, if that sort of stuff interests you, maybe you're also someone that can't quite find a home in just one hobby and you like traveling between them. That's why I call myself the creative vagabond. I'm always hopping between different creative things. And I think that's very important to kind of identify, especially when you're thinking about your career and stuff. It's like, how do I make a career out of multiple interests? And, every day I'm trying to figure that out. It's a slow climb up a mountain. Look, we've been getting pretty deep with this video. I hope you enjoyed my reaction and the chats. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.